Cleveland Browns got a new offensive coordinator they named Tommy Rees as a promoted candidate from the tight end position room. He will be the new offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. That was very quick. I got some thoughts on this situation, and I'm going to tell you what this means for the play calling, what this means for the offense, and what this could mean in terms of what the Cleveland Browns want to do in the NFL draft. I think this has some say-so and a lot of things that the Cleveland Browns want to do, and the best place to get it from is him with the crystal ball, that guy G. Bush right here on the Ultimate Browns. Welcome on into the Ultimate Browns. We seem to have a bit of breaking news, and we're going to get right off into this situation. We talked about it a little bit on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show earlier, but we have Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees has been named as the Cleveland Browns' new offensive coordinator. This tweet was put out by Tom Pelissero a little bit about an hour and a half ago. Mikey McNuggets had something on the UCSS channel, and we're going to break this down and get all into the nitty-gritty in terms of what this means for the Cleveland Browns. Browns are promoting Tommy Rees to offensive coordinator per sources. A former Notre Dame star quarterback. I wouldn't say he's a star quarterback. He's a standout. Tommy Rees becomes one of the NFL's youngest coordinators at the age of 32. He previously had stints at Notre Dame and Alabama as an offensive coordinator and quarterback coach before joining Kevin Stefanski's staff last year, and that was courtesy of Tom Pelissero. That press conference is not scheduled yet. We haven't heard from Tommy Rees, but we did hear the press release, and this was confirmed out there as well. So Tommy Rees is your new Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator. And first and foremost, let's talk about the hire in general. Now, they were looking at Clint Kubiak. They were looking at some of the names that were thrown out there. Tommy Rees was an internal candidate. Names that we've had heard before. AVP was a name that was early in the week. That kind of tailed off a little bit. Guys that were looking to get an opportunity to come in here. But what I started to see was that it started to be more of a, instead of your guys that were thought of as, the Josh McCowns of the world, the guys who had a little more cachet, who had more experience as in those positions. Tommy Rees has only been in the league 1 year. Those candidates, those guys when we're going to look at Seattle, those guys were looking at other positions, maybe possibly with the Saints, and another group of individuals that are going around trying to find positions as offensive coordinators, but they're looking to call plays. So a lot of the names off of this list were younger guys that want to get an opportunity, the guys that want to get a shot in the league. And Tommy Rees was an internal candidate. He had been named as a guy Mike Vrabel wanted to take with him to Tennessee, not to Tennessee, that's where he left, but to New England. And frankly, to be honest with you, if Mike Vrabel was offering me that position and I was Tommy Rees, I would have went with New England, the Patriots, over I went with the Browns. And I've been on record talking about it. And it's exactly why, what you say, why would you not take the opportunity that's in front of you, G. Bush? And I said, well, listen, the track record of the Cleveland Browns at offensive coordinator is a position where that is a scapegoat position. That is a toothless position. That is a position in which you could possibly get all of the demise or none of the credit. when the Cleveland Browns had Alex Van Pelt and Kevin Stefanski was coach of the year, and he got credit for being the coach of the year because he had Joe Flacco, and he had PJ Walker, and he had DTR, and he had Deshaun Watson, who was injured. You had all those quarterbacks, and you ended up winning 11 football games and going to the playoffs. So you ended up getting the credit for that. But guess what? Alex Van Pelt was fired during that season. And we get it. They made the move to make sure that they could get the best available situation for Deshaun Watson. But that didn't turn out to be really great. AVP landed on his feet, went to New England, and he was part of the Gerard Mayo coaching staff. They were just let go in New England. And one of the things that you have to take in consideration when you're offensive coordinator and you're a young guy and you're Tommy Rees is these positions don't come around very often. But you also have to be very strategic in the positions that you take. Ken Dorsey, not too long ago, was just named or just known as one of the hot commodities. He had a really nice year. The first year when he had Josh Allen, that soured. He then came and take the position in Cleveland, and that was a no-win situation in Cleveland. If you look at it, Kevin Stefanski skated on everything. Kevin Stefanski got to skate on Deshaun Watson. Kevin Stefanski got to pass off the play calling and skated on that. Kevin Stefanski got to skate on the penalties. Kevin Stefanski got to skate on the quarterback room in general. And so when it came time for people to say who needs to go and who got to stay, Kevin Stefanski was still here. Guess who got jettisoned? Dorsey. And people say, well, dang. Well, Dorsey's playbook was terrible. They didn't have a running game. They didn't do that. Well, they didn't have some of the same things when Deshaun Watson was there and when Kevin Stefanski was calling plays. You see that work against him? Well, it was just the quarterback play. Well, if anybody, Ken Dorsey got the most out of the quarterbacks that was here. Jameis Winston put up the best numbers. Miraculously, Jameis Winston got pulled out of the game and taken out because he throws interceptions. But hey, look, Jerry Jeudy looked competent. The offense looked the best under him, but you had to take him out of the game and say, we got to find out what we got in DTR. And he turned out to be a guy that don't even look like a regular quarterback. Not an NFL guy. I say all of that to say this. When you are Tommy Rees, understand that when this position comes around, like you're going to, if the offensive succeeds, Kevin Stefanski is going to get the credit for that. If the offense is trash, chances are you're going to get the credit for that. And it is what it is. And this means something internally as well. I think it meant that a lot of people saw the climate of what was going on out there. They've had interviews with individuals and Clint Kubiak and different things like that. But those guys have agents, and those guys have been around the league as well. And I think that people have this rosy-colored thing about the Cleveland Browns, and I'm just being honest with you. You guys get real defensive about this stuff, but it's just career building 101. Why would I go to a place where I don't have the control of what the offense is supposed to be like or look like? I don't have a quarterback. There is no quarterback on the roster. It doesn't seem there's going to be a way to upgrade a veteran route on this roster besides a Kirk Cousins or trying to get a Justin Fields or maybe, throw a shot in the dark at a one-year deal for Sam Darnold. So the first thing I want to know as an offensive coordinator is what offense are we going to run? Well, it ain't my offense. It's Kevin Stefanski's offense. Well, that's strike one for me. Number two, I want to know, am I calling plays or not? You think he's calling plays? We'll get to that here in a second segment. But no, does not mean he's going to be calling plays. Looks like it's going to be Kevin Stefanski, right? And third, I want to know who's the quarterback on the horizon. Are we drafting a quarterback at number 2? What are we doing? We'll talk about that a little bit later. I got some ideas and opinions on that. But what are we doing? So I got 3 different things on the horizon where they are question marks. I don't know what's going on with the quarterback today. I don't really particularly know what offense we're going to run and how we're going to move it. I'm not particularly going to get an opportunity to call plays. And on top of that, if the offense looks bad, I'm the scapegoat for the situation. You're just Tommy Rees. You ain't calling plays anyway. It's easier for them to get rid of you than bring. You see? Now look, that is the things that immediately come to mind. Another thing that I kind of worry about is this. When you are already part of a 3-14 team that grossly underperformed, that offensively was one of the most inept offenses in the entire league, Why would a person in a 3-14 era, in a 3-14 team, not only were they not let go, not only were they like the coaching staff was not let go, they got retained and they are promoting from within. Think about that. It's the equivalent of you missing a revenue goal at work. So your team performed under standards. You don't meet your revenue goals. You don't get a bonus. As a matter of fact, y'all might all be on progressive discipline. But then a position comes open and it's a promotion to like the senior manager, service line manager. And the same person that headed the team that didn't meet the revenue goal now gets promoted from within to come be the new service line manager. You're like, well, hold on. Ain't you part of the reason that you didn't hit the goal? Isn't Tommy Rees part of the reason that you guys did underperformed a bit? Now, granted, it might be a little unfair to him because he's a tight ends coach. I mean, what is he really going to do? But that says a lot for a lot of the other coaches. Nobody wanted to come do that job. No, they didn't. I think that tells you a lot. When you hire an up-and-coming guy who, and I no disrespect, I think he probably is thought about well around the league. No disrespect to him. But it shows you when you're 32 years old and they're giving you an opportunity to be a coordinator at that young age, that either tells me you are Sean McVay or you kind of, or nobody else was trying to really with a resume or cachet trying to, step up and take the mantle of a lame duck offensive coordinator. Now, look, it can work out. Tommy Rees might be a dude who, Kevin Stefanski might surprise us all and say, you know what, Tommy Rees is a young genius, and he's gonna come in here and he's gonna call these plays, and I love Tommy, and we're gonna work in tandem, and that probably won't happen. But I'm just saying, it might. I'm trying to be optimistic. That could be something on the horizon. But this hire tells me coming up that it gives me an insight. This hire gives me an insight into what the temperature is going to be for the Cleveland Browns coming up in 2025. When we get back, we'll talk about whose name is on the playbook, what will play calling look like, and what this signifies to me more than anything. This hire means more about Kevin Stefanski than it does Tommy Rees. We'll come back and talk about it. It's G. Bush right here on the Ultimate Browns. Let's get to the Game Time app. Basketball season is in full swing. I plan on going to the game, and I plan on sitting kind of close. I always wanted to get the courtside seats, and you know what? The best place to go do that is the Game Time app, right? If you're looking forward to seeing the Cleveland Cavaliers, the best record in all the NBA, make Game Time your place to go get those tickets. Game Time has a new feature, and it's called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events, not just basketball, even easier. Game Time Picks filter out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste the time searching through thousands of tickets. You can also, in the app, search your seats, get your seat views, get a panoramic view, and do it all in the app before you even get to the game. Lowest prices are guaranteed, and Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Hey, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app today, create an account, and use the code word LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do agree. Again, create an account, redeem the code Locked On, LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It's G. Bush here, breaking down the new hire of Tommy Rees as the Browns offensive coordinator. We went over what that looks like in the announcement earlier, but let's get into this, what this means for play calling and moving forward with Kevin Stefanski. For me, I look at this hire as we talked about a little bit before. Tommy Rees will probably be the quarterback coach. He will probably, help install some of the stuff for the game plan. But in generally speaking, what this means is I think, accomplished coordinators or coordinators who've done that before, I think people want to try to poo-poo the situation and say, oh, gee, Bush, play calling doesn't really matter that much. Play calling, yes, the heck it does. And here's why play calling matters to serious offensive coordinators that want to advance in the league. What happens is if you don't call the plays, it's very easy to be subjective and pick and choose what criteria you're going to grade or judge somebody on. Think about it. If I'm Ken Dorsey, I'm saying you handed me play calling halfway through the season. When I'm a play caller, I want to choose the way I install. I want to choose the rate in which we put in our run plays. I want to choose the personnel groupings. I want to choose how I go about teaching some of this stuff. I want to do all of that because it's part of my comprehensive program. Play calling is just one part of being an offensive coordinator. You have scheme, you have design, you have implementation, you have revisiting certain different plays and having a collaboration of tweaking plays here or there. And then you also have play calling as well. So it all goes hand in hand. And so if you're a play caller and you're not calling the plays, you're not doing the install. You don't even know if you how they teaching it in certain places. Maybe you might want to go and teach it a different type way. You could have the same game plan as Stefanski, but you got a completely different teaching style. So what happens when they just hand play calling over to you? Now the team has to have a new rhythm. Now the team has a new vision. Now the team has a new way that you're calling it, the way you're instructing it, the way you're installing it. And that takes some time. And just think about it. They handed him the playbook in the middle of the season with a second or third team backup quarterback, offensive line, no run game. You got an offensive line coach that was sitting on the sideline because he wasn't no good, and Vrabel had to take over from his job. So all of those things play hand in hand into how your offense runs and what your offense looks like. And for Dorsey, now don't get it twisted. I don't think he did a particularly great job, but there are some things that can be said in his defense that says, yeah, I mean, Kev kind of did just put the playbook and say, here you go, dog. There he is. Have fun with them plays. And you're seeing what it looked like, and you're seeing what eventually happened. If you're watching this as another offensive coordinator, you want to say, nope, if you're going to grade me, you're going to grade me on my job to control my own destiny. I want to call my plays. I want to do all of that. And so this tells me in this situation, Kevin Stefanski is going to be in charge of the play calling. He's going to be over the offense, and he's going back to what he does better and what he does in his mind does best, and that's calling the plays and figuring it out. Now, this is what I've been saying all along. I secretly love it. To be honest with you, some people will be really excited about this blog because we're breaking down a new offensive coordinator. For me, I could care less. And I'll tell you why. I don't care nothing about that. This year and this season is a referendum on Kevin Stefanski. Point blank, period. There's nothing else. There's no more hiding. There's no more skirting around. And it was the offensive coordinator. I couldn't get my guy. I didn't choose Baker. The owner made me get Deshaun. I could call plays, but the quarterbacks can't read defenses. My liners, all of that is done. All you dudes out here in the media that keep putting this cape on for Coach Stefanski, you succeeded this year. He's back in the fold, and he got an opportunity to coach the Cleveland Browns again for this year. But in 2025, under no way, shape, or form, is he getting cloaked or blanketed. We see it for what it is. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. It's your offense. You get an opportunity to choose him. You chose Tommy Rees. He better be good. Hey, you could have chose Kermit the Frog, and I was going to get hired, Kevin. Now y'all better do something with it. Tommy Rees was the guy. Tommy Rees, you said you're comfortable with it. I don't want to hear nothing about Tommy Rees and what he didn't do. This is your offense. This is your picks. And these are your players that you are going to have to go to war with, and you better have a result for it. I love it. Because you can't, like Andrew Berry said, Kevin picks his own staff. Same way I'm on Andrew Berry, I'm looking right at y'all. It ain't no more hiding. No more, coach of the year, where are we going to, all them talking points, y'all might as well leave it at home. I'm going to tell y'all right now. All those, well, G. Bush, you can't call for someone's job if you don't know who you're gonna pick, and I just don't know, you guys. It's not Stefanski, it's Barry. It's not Stefanski, it's Santa Claus. The Easter Bunny did it. No, you might as well chalk that up. It's on Kevin 1,000%, and he gonna get all of the autonomy that he wants. He likes Tommy Rees. I hope that Tommy Rees works out. Because when it comes to next year and they don't got the progress that they need, and they still don't got a quarterback, and they don't mess around and be 4 and something, 3 and something, 5 and something, bye. We didn't hit the end of the road, boys and men. It is what it is. That's why I'm like, all right, cool. But you tell me, you put it in the comment section. Do you think Tommy Rees is going to make impact on the offense, or ultimately is this going to come down to Kevin Stefanski? Because I believe this hire means it's more on Kevin Stefanski's shoulders. This is all you. And guess what? And I'm going to say this too. I keep it 100. I keep it real. I keep it clear with y'all. Let me say this. If Kevin Stefanski succeeds, and Andrew Berry succeeds, and they identify a quarterback, and they identify a way to get this team back on progress, and the hires of Tommy Rees look good, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clap it up for him, and I'm going to congratulate him, say, okay, you had a rough year, good job. Good job. That's a great pick for Tommy Rees. Great pick of whoever you got at the draft. Awesome pick in finding your quarterback, whether it's in the first round, second round, mid-round. What all I'm saying is it better work. And I'm an equal opportunity guy. I'll say it again. We'll let them know. We'll let it work. When we get back, we're going to break this down too. Because I think there's another way you can understand. And here's why I believe the Cleveland Browns are tipping their hand just so they're very close. They're tipping their hand just a little bit on what they really might want to do in the draft. We'll come back and talk about this. G. Bush right here on the Ultimate Browns. Man, you know, right now we're in winter. Spring will be coming up very soon. And just know that we got the Guardians covered. Zach Myers will Adam the Bull, Ultimate Guardians, covering the Guardians in the way that not a lot of other people are doing it right here on the UCSS network. Obviously, Ultimate Cavaliers, Mikey McNuggets, Jason Lloyd, they've been covering the Cavs. McNuggets doing a great job over there breaking it down. Make sure you check those guys out. They'll be once weekly. One of my new favorite podcasts, man. I'm not going to lie, man. I love the combination of Earl the Pearl and Cecil Shorts. I really like that combo over there. I think they've been putting out their last 3 or 4 blogs have been really good. I've been watching them, and I think they're really dope. So make sure you check that out, Ultimate 216 right here as always. And then don't forget, today is the first day. So Ultimate Browns will be on every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock. We will have the episodes Tuesdays at 5 o'clock. We'll move back to 2 episodes per week once we get back to football season. But in the off season, we got you. We'll have the on-demand clips and those up there. And we got a special announcement coming up here very shortly that I'm really excited about talking about, unveiling and something new in programming coming to the UCSS network. As always, make sure you subscribe and like so you know when all of our content is up and moving. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. G. Bush here breaking down the hiring of Tommy Rees. He was formerly the tight ends coach for the Cleveland Browns. He had got an internal promotion and now will be the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. They have not come out and talked about it. They have no press conference. And, we don't know if he's not going to call plays or if he will call plays. But we will definitely have all that broken down for you. We'll talk about it tomorrow right here on the UCSS Network and the main UCSS show coming up tomorrow. But we wanted to break it down here today right here on the Ultimate Browns. And one of the things I look at with Tommy Rees and what the hire could possibly signify. And more as time goes on, I think that people are going, and it's already started to happen. Now, when you have the draft conversation, you have draft talk, you're going to always be able to receive more information. And where you are today in the draft process is not where you will be at when it comes to April and May when the draft is kicking around. It won't happen. And it's almost like the election season. When you're doing the debates and you're doing the polling, you start polling a year out. The top candidates that are going to be presidential candidates or the top candidates and even any election will not be the top candidates most likely in a primary situation because guys are going to move up and down. Somebody's going to release their economic plan. Somebody will release what they got for what they want to talk about with some of their tax cuts and some of the economics that they want to do, or whether it's education, and people will move up and down. Then they'll have debates, and then somebody will perform really well and have a couple of rebuttals and highlights in the debate, and then those people will jump up. And then some people will just run out of funding. Those guys will concede and drop and all of those different things. And by the time you started, you would have completely different names than when you end up. And that's going to happen right here in this offseason. You're going to have the pro days. You're going to have the combine. You're going to have the Senior Bowl. You're going to have individual workouts. You're going to have all of these different things where somebody's going to run a fast 40. Somebody's going to have a good pro day. Somebody's going to blow it away or get in trouble or not be in shape in some of this stuff. And then you're going to have guys move up and down. But what you will see is that what I think you're seeing right now, though, is ask yourself this question. You're going to see a lot of people start to prioritize these quarterbacks. And it always happens because you start to think to yourself, what's the alternative? We watched the playoff games. We watched them. We watched Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. They are who we thought they were. You guys, it happens every season. We watch these regular season games and we talk ourselves into feeling like some guys have a real legitimate chance of winning the Super Bowl, and then you get down to the nitty gritty and you start looking around and you say, do they really have a shot? Come on, Baker, you can't fumble the snap. You fumbled it. We talk about fumbling the snap and handoffs. You know what kind of level you got to play to get to the Super Bowl, and you want to be Allen or Burrow or Mahomes or all these other. You can't do that in crunch time. Sam Darnold looked like he reverted right back to the Jets. Sam Darnold was just running around getting sacked, no pocket presence, not understand where the pressure was coming from, throwing interceptions, throwing late across his body. Went right back to old Sam Darnold. And what you're going to start to see is these people in these fan bases start to question, really? I mean, I'm really about to go up here and the pick that I got right now, I'm really going to go up here and draft a tackle? I'm going to really draft it. No, you're not going to draft a tackle. And the reason you're not going to draft a tackle or a D tackle or trade back and get 4, 3, 2, 3 picks is because Kevin Stefanski knows exactly what we know. He's on that clock. And a tackle not going to save you. As a matter of fact, if I'm Tommy Rees and I'm taking this position and it's my first coordinator role and I got other offers, why would I, if there is no upside, I ain't calling plays. I'm really not ahead of the offense. But you know what you can get credit for, though? Because when you're the Cleveland Browns and you're Kevin Stefanski, remember what I said earlier. You're going to get credit. Kevin Stefanski is going to get the credit if that offense is balling. He's going to get all the credit. You're not going to get none, right? But what you can get credit for is if you work with a young quarterback and he turns out to be a guy who looks good. See, you're not going to get credit for calling the plays and doing things like that. But if you're a young offensive coordinator who is not calling plays, you're going to be the main quarterback whisperer. You're going to be the main guy being the quarterback coach. And what you can get credit for is saying, look how good X, Y, and Z young quarterback looked. Remember when he was in college and he didn't have no awareness? Remember he was in college and he didn't seem to see the pressure? Remember he was in college and he can only read one side of the field? Remember he was in college and his footwork wasn't that good. Look how he turns around and gets his shoulder square. Look how he runs the play action. Those are sellable traits that you can say, yeah, I wasn't calling plays, but look what I worked with X, Y, and Z. If you ask me, when Tommy Rees goes into that office and he says, yeah, I'm interviewing for the offensive coordinator position, what's the play in that quarterback? Any candidate that is worth their salt is going to say, what's the play here? And for me, if I'm going to take that position, I got to have risk and reward. Me taking that position and me coming up in there taking offensive coordinator position, and the plan is to take a left tackle or a defensive tackle, and I got to revive Kirk Cousins, I'm going to get fired in a year. Why would I take that? I'm not about to take no offensive coordinator position and run around here and see Kirk Cousins or whoever y'all got that's a retread quarterback, and I can't even call plays. I don't even control my own destiny. So I think when he has in there, he's sitting in there and he's talking. He's like, look, what's the play here, Kev? Look, Tommy, you're a young up-and-coming guy. You were here. We like what your work ethic is. And what we want to do is we want to lean on you as a teacher. We want to lean on you. You've already worked with some of these young quarterbacks before. You've called plays in college. You've called it at Notre Dame. You've called it in Alabama. You understand the mentality of the college guys coming out. And what I want you to do is I want you to treat this as the next level of his college maturation. The goal is we're going to get us a guy that's going to be a stopgap guy. And what it is, he's going to get something that we run. Let me handle the stopgap guy. Let me handle the Kirk Cousins and the Justin Fields. I can handle that, and we're going to teach that up, and we're going to get to these 8 wins or whatever we need to do to stay around again. But while you teaching that, let me go over here and teach this. While you over here with Shedeur Sanders, while you over there with Cam Ward, let me be over here getting the best out of this bridge guy. Let's get these 8-9 wins. And then while you doing that, I need you to work with getting these guys up to speed. And we hopefully the best mark we got, we don't even need to play him this year. If he can get us to 7, 8, 9 wins and we competitive on last week of the season, now you got a whole year that you've been working with him. Now, the next year, that voice that you've cultivated over that year, that voice that you've been getting with Shedeur Sanders where he ain't played. Now he's confident in your voice. He understands your voice, your coaching. And now, that next year, now we ready. We can turn that over to you. Now we can turn that, and y'all ready to rock and roll as a tandem. But what I got to do is I got to babysit this thing for this year. We got to get it to the point where we back on the track, where we got time to develop and do something. But right now, I need to take these plays over and get us back into competitive football with this stopgap. But the goal is we trying to get you guys working together as offensive coordinator, as quarterback, young quarterback, and we shooting for 2026, and that's how we gonna move. Now, if he told me that, you can sell me on that. I'm ready. I'm going in there with chomping at the bit. Because now I'm in the trenches. We locked at the hip. I'm trying to get these play calling next year. I'm trying to coach you up, and I'm still learning what it is. We learning the system together. And then what we could do next year is we could put our own flavor on it after Kev give us the playbook back, after we just settle back in. So for me, that's a great way to think about it. I'm excited about that role. I'm not excited about you drafting no defensive tackle and bringing this retread quarterback here with no young quarterback, no nothing. I'm about to get fired with that. Because if that guy don't perform and we don't do nothing and I'm not calling plays, I'm going to be up out of here anyway. I would rather just hang out and chill and be a tight ends coach and not wait and wait for the right opportunity to get my call, and I'll call plays the traditional way. What are your thoughts, man? Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know. What does this hire mean? Does this hire of Tommy Rees change anything about the draft? Do you think it's more likely to draft a quarterback or less likely? Let me know, and we will definitely get to that. With that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. We'll have all of these cuts and clips up there as well. Make sure you do a like, share this content. We're going to be talking about it. This is one of the best times to be a Cleveland Browns fan, because guess what? There's a lot to talk about. We don't know which way they're going to go, which direction. We've had the offensive line hire. We have the offensive coordinator liar. I said liar. Offensive coordinator hire. And we got the draft coming up and all that good stuff as well. So we got a lot of commentary to give you, and we got a lot of good interaction coming up here on the next couple of months. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on that, and then hit the notification bell so you know when all our stuff is there. With that being said, you never know what G. Bush may be. If you want the fresh take, the fresh cut on sports, I keep the Clippers with me. As you see, the barbershop is always open. Have a great evening, and as always, go Browns.